Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is going to be cozy messages from your loved one. So this can be any loved one, past on, present. It could be one on your mind, or you could see who comes through for you. Either way, it's meant to be cozy messages to warm your heart. It's almost the winter solstice at the time that I'm recording this, so it's cold out. There's snow on the ground. I'm feeling a little chilled. Figured we could use a nice warm hug from someone who loves us, and that is my intention here today. So, before I get into the group selection, as per usual, I'm going to first say that if you do end up really liking what you see here, I do offer personal readings on my website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, and my mom and I both also offer other services like hypnosis. For example, we're both certified consulting hypnotists. So, if you're interested in any of that, you can check those out in the link below, sunflowerphilosophy.com. But moving on to the second order of business, which is the brief centering exercise I always do at the beginning of these readings. Now, it's like a little meditation, if you're new here, to help you get centered, help you feel at peace, and help you really open your intuition to the messages you're about to receive. If that sounds good for you, stick around. If not, as always, timestamps are in the description or the pinned comment. Go check those out and navigate wherever you want to go, whichever option is better for you. So without further ado, let's move into the brief centering exercise. So if you're joining me for this, I first ask that you are not driving or doing anything that requires your utmost attention. But if you are not, just take a moment to get yourself comfortable, get yourself situated. You can pause the video if you need to. Just get cozy, get warm, especially today for these cozy, warm messages. And when you're ready, when you're comfortable, when you're ready to feel cozy and safe, you may close your eyes and turn your attention to your breathing. And whatever you notice as you turn your attention to your breathing is okay. You don't have to change your breathing. If it feels comfortable to do so, you may wish to if you want to slow it down, deepen it, but you can simply observe it, notice where you're at, and know that wherever you're at is perfectly acceptable, and you are exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. And now that you are feeling more comfortable and relaxed, I want you to imagine that with every breath you take, you just become more relaxed, and each exhale just allows you to melt even further into the surface you're resting upon, and melt even further into the comfort of your body, no matter what your body feels like right now. I will say that at this time, any sensation or emotion or energy or feeling, let that be safe. Let it be safe, whether it feels good, whether it doesn't feel good. Allow it to be safe for you to feel whatever it is that you're feeling in this moment. This reading is really about how loved you are and reminding you of that, bringing you messages of love and hope, and whatever it is that comes through that needs to be communicated for the highest good and only the highest good. And I intend for this reading to be in full alignment with your highest good. So if you have an intention for this reading, what you would like to receive, who you would like to connect with, how you would like to connect, you may set that now. It could be a word, it could be a person, it could be an affirmation, whatever you want. Know that in some way or another it will be fulfilled in the perfect time, in the perfect way. You are deeply connected with your intuition. You know what you're about. You are guided, you are safe, you are loved, and you are ready to receive messages that align with you, and only those that align with you for your highest good. And you will know in due time what each message means for you, why it is important for you to hear it, and it will easily and naturally become apparent to you that whatever it is that you need to hear is for you, and whatever is not for you will simply pass by and reach whoever it is truly for. You trust yourself, you trust your intuition, and at the end of the day, you know yourself best. And may this message help you feel a bit warmer inside, cozier, and more aligned in some way. Or at least help you connect with whatever energies are in highest alignment for you right now to help you be your best self. Because you already are that, and it's really just a matter of allowing yourself to see, understand, and experience your best self in each and every moment. Thank you for being here, and if you would like to continue in meditation for a little bit longer, feel free to pause the video and return when you're ready for the rest of the reading. But for those of you who are ready to move on to the reading, we will move on to the reading in just a moment. Okay, thank you so much if you joined me for the brief centering exercise, and thank you so much if you did not. Either way, I'm happy to have you here. This is, of course, the group selection portion, where, as I already explained in the intro what this reading is about. It's a message, a cozy message from a loved one, something to warm your heart, something to uplift you a little bit. And I do have 4 groups here for you, so you can, as always, pick 1, pick 2, pick all of them, whatever resonates with you. Maybe there's multiple loved ones who want to come through for you. Maybe you have a loved one in mind, or more than one that you want to focus on, and pick the group that calls to you based on that. The stones that I have here set out are angel stones, so each of them are associated with a different angel, and so I will go through and I'll let you know about the angel, and I'll let you know what the little box that the stones come in say about each angel. There's just like little keywords, so if any of those keywords resonate with you, that might trigger something in your intuition, so I'll just let you know about that. So let me get into it. So for group 1, and I also let the angels pick each of the groups, and so that's the group that they picked is the group that came to me when I was holding their stone and meditating on it. And so, for whatever reason, they are helping your loved one come through today. So for group number 1, we have Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel is associated with the element of water. Specifically, it says primordial water because these are all the primordial elements. Gabriel is the guardian of the West and the guardian of mercy and peace, according to my little box here that these stones came in. And then for group 2, we have Archangel Uriel. Uriel is associated with primordial earth, the guardian of the North, and is also associated with vision and instruction. For group 3, we have Archangel Raphael. Raphael is associated with primordial air, guardian of the East, and associated with love and joy. And also healing is something that I know Raphael is associated with, as well as travel. Then we have, for group number 4, Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is associated with primordial fire, is the guardian of the South, and is associated with strength and protection. So take all the time you need to choose your group, meditate on it if you need to, follow your intuition, trust yourself. If you want to pick a group and then switch it, trust yourself, do whatever feels right to you. But regardless, I am so excited for this reading, and I will see you over in whichever group you select. Hi, group number 1. If you selected Archangel Gabriel's stone, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading with cozy messages to warm your heart from a loved one of yours. As I mentioned in the intro, this can be a current loved one, a passed on loved one, really anything. If you're tapping into someone's energy and you really feel like you need a message from them, you can set the intention to be for this to be a message from them, or you can just see who comes through and we'll go from there. So I did pre-select some cards to give us an idea of who is coming through for you, and then we'll move into the messages themselves. So as always, take what messages resonate for you, leave what doesn't. Don't force anything, stay open-minded, stay curious, and let's get into it. So the loved one who is coming through for you is represented by the following cards. So we have Archangel Michael. So we've got so these are angel cards, and not all of them have archangels on them, but you have Archangel Michael coming through and Archangel Raphael. So it's interesting because even though this group is being, shall we say, led by Archangel Gabriel, we have the two of the other archangels coming through in this group, Raphael and Michael. So perhaps you also were drawn to Michael and Raphael's group. Maybe there's an actual soul group that is coming through with messages for you. So maybe you do want to check out those other groups as well. But it's also possible that you have connections with all three of these angels. Maybe all three of these angels are working with you or working with your loved one in some way. But it feels very significant that two archangels came through instead of like traits, which is what is kind of on the other cards, like words, like adjectives and things like that. So then for the tarot card, we have King of Wands. And for the feminine archetypes card, which I just want to say all of the cards on the feminine archetype, all the archetypes on the feminine archetypes cards are female, they're women. But, and I use this for every group, but obviously whoever's coming through could be any gender. So, but we have the Angry Woman. So again, this doesn't have to be a woman, but that's just the gender that's represented on the feminine archetypes cards. So I will say we do have very masculine energy coming through here for this group. And again, it doesn't have to be a woman or a man specifically. Whoever's coming through for you could be any gender, but we're definitely having a very masculine energy coming through with the King of Wands. And with the Angry Woman, although, of course, anger is not exclusively a masculine trait, and it's really not to do with gender at all. Of course, there's the stereotypical notion of anger being a more masculine emotion, more active, more activating. And so while that does not have to mean anything about this person's gender, I definitely get the sense of someone who's very strong-willed, potentially someone who has a temper, maybe someone who's very spirited and forceful. That's what's coming through. I'm getting a very like strong-willed energy, and to the point where, especially with this Angry Woman card coming through as a shadow card, it could be someone who may at times come off a bit overbearing, maybe a little bit threatening, or it could be someone who has some shadows around anger, maybe is a bit misunderstood due to the way that they express their emotions. But anger is definitely an important emotion that comes through with this person, but also there's like a very strong like action-oriented energy. This is a go-getter, a doer, in some way, shape, or form. I'm also getting a strong energy that for some people, not everyone here, but for some people this could be for any group, but especially getting this energy here that this could be a passed on loved one. I'm getting like a grandmother, grandfather figure, or at least an older individual, even if they're still alive. Not necessarily, it could be an old soul, but that's at least partially what I'm getting. I'm definitely getting also, like, for some people here, someone who's very spiritual or religious. There's an element of that. There's also a lot of wisdom, but again, it could be misunderstood or miscommunicated, especially if this person has a more forceful temperament. Now, I'm going to read the Archangel cards here that came through, because they may also provide us with some traits of this person. But we have, when you are blessed with this angel card, you are guided to invoke Archangel Michael to help protect and strengthen you. He will increase your ability to deal with problems, so ask him to cut with his sword any emotional cords which bind you to people, stuck situations, or past memories. Then ask him to fill you with strength and love. He will shield you from the destructive thoughts, emotions, and actions of others. Archangel Michael works on the blue ray, giving strength and courage. Call for his help and visualize yourself wearing a deep blue cloak securely fastened. This will place you under his protection. He is a master of all angels, a great warrior spirit. With his light, you will feel more secure, have more confidence, energy, and power. Affirmation, I am strong and protected by Archangel Michael. So you can definitely take all of that as at face as a message for you, but in the context of also describing this person, I definitely feel that strength, that leadership, that protective energy coming through as strong traits for this person as well, who's coming through for you. And this could be someone who is very protective of you. I am definitely getting like some kind of older male or female figure, like a protective mother, father, grandma, grandpa, that kind of thing. Someone who in some way, shape, or form is very protective over you and may at times have or does exert their will over you in some way. I'm also getting the possibility that this is someone with whom you had or have a relatively tense relationship at times. Maybe not for everyone, but I could definitely see this being someone who could be a bit overbearing and may cross certain boundaries or lines because they believe what they want is best for you. And it will really depend on each individual here how much that impacts your relationship or not. I'm definitely feeling like there could be a lot of different scenarios, but I'm definitely getting that was or is an aspect of your relationship in some way. And one thing I will say is that no matter the kind of relationship you had or have with this person, even if there are difficult elements, the messages that are coming through today are going to be like messages of love, cozy, warm messages. And if this doesn't align with how this person expresses themselves to you normally, you can think of it as their higher self coming through with messages for you as well. Because one thing that I set the intention for this reading is that it will be loving messages regardless of who comes through. And if you accept this, and then I feel like for a lot of you, this is a relationship that is generally neutral to positive at the best of times. But again, could have some difficulties or be going through difficulties. But for those of you who have a more maybe negative relationship with this person, but still want to hear messages from them, just know that my intention is that we're tapping into the part of them that unconditionally understands and loves you, that is connected to, source, to all that is, and is connected to higher knowing and understanding. So you can be comforted in that and know that. And so if you're here and you're aligned with hearing messages from this person, no matter what kind of relationship you have with them, then you keep going. But obviously, of course, if at any point you're like, no, this is not for me, definitely you can switch to another group or head out, whatever you feel is best. I just felt the need to say that because I do feel like for some people here, this is someone who you may have had a tumultuous relationship with at some point. Now, let's read for Archangel Raphael as well, though. You are blessed to attract this angel card, for Archangel Raphael brings health, healing, and abundance. He will help you to develop your intuition and inner vision. Call on him if you need help in these areas now. He also protects travelers during journeys, so this is a fortuitous card if you are about to travel. If you are a healer or wish to be one, Archangel Raphael will direct pure divine energy to you. He works on the green ray of healing and balance, so visualize yourself surrounded by a clear green light and invoke his guidance. Affirmation: I'm happy, healthy, and abundant. Yes, so I do get the sense that this person, whether they're incarnated currently or not, is in some way, shape, or form watching over you, protecting you, guiding you, especially from the other side if they're not able to do that in the physical realms. But there's definitely like a helpful, protective energy, like someone who means well, means the best, and wants the best for you at the end of the day. Again, they definitely may have elements of their personality that are a little bit more forceful, and I do feel like in some cases it's not necessarily in a negative way, but it could be, again, very misunderstood in the way that maybe they come across as more intimidating than they are. The bark is worse than the bite, shall we say. So if that is all resonating with you, let me just see if there's any other messages that want to come through about who this person is. Group 1's loved one, do you have any other messages for Group 1 about who you are? I'm actually getting the visual in my mind of like these red jingle bell earrings that I have. And they're kind of like being held slightly above my head. So I'm getting both the visual of like red bells, like Christmassy kind of visuals, which, I mean, at the time of recording, that is coming up next week. So this could be someone that is very significant around the holidays for you, maybe hosted holidays or hosts holidays, or really loves this time of year, celebrates Christmas or celebrates whatever holiday is significant in your family or in your life. This, this could be also, this person doesn't have to be directly related to you. They could be, they could be a spouse, but they could be a friend, or an interest of some kind. So, it just depends. Yeah, but that's definitely coming through, as well as, like mistletoe. Also, the visual is coming through of mistletoe. So those could be confirmations for someone here. The colors red and blue feel especially significant. And I think that's it for now. So we're going to move into their messages, their cozy messages for you. So what are some cozy, heartwarming messages that you have for group one that you want to convey to group one for the highest good of all, please? Group one's loved one. Whoa, okay. We got 3 cards that flew out together, and I'm going to take them. We have the 6 of Coins, Judgment, and the King of Wands. King of Wands twice, and wow, I just put that down like right under the King of Wands card that we already have laid out here. So that feels really significant. So King of Wands is a really significant archetype for them, I feel. Again, like this could be a masculine person, but like I said, it doesn't have to be. But King of Wands, very much like a very fiery, passionate, active, manly, even if they're not a man, you know what I mean? Like there's something masculine here. There's something strong-willed, really. 6 of Coins, Judgment, King of Wands. Yeah, I'm getting just like, I'm feeling like this person, let me get a couple more cards. So any other messages that you have for your loved one, group one's loved one? Page of Swords reversed. Okay, so it's interesting. We have this card coming out by itself, and then we have 3 more cards coming out together. Okay. So I feel like this is someone who has something to give you. They want to help you. Obviously, I was getting helpful energy. Like this is someone who is or was a doer and a go-getter in their own right, and they want to impart some of that energy onto you. I feel like some of you here have something that you want to complete or start or work on, and it might feel like an overwhelming venture at first. It could be something that you're really new at, or something that you don't really have a blueprint for. And they want to offer you assistance with this. Now, of course, if this is someone who is in your current present physical life, maybe they very literally want to offer you financial assistance or advice or something tangible that can go towards whatever you're working on, or whatever situation you're in, because I'm hearing it could also be that it's not that you're working on a specific project, but maybe you've been faced with some challenges recently. Could be like financial challenges, like a job loss or something like that. And they want to offer you something, whether it be obviously like if they're in the other realms, potentially working to help bring through some spiritual help for you, advice, guidance, or setting up some kind of opportunities for you going forward, helping you reach your full potential, I just heard, as well, in whatever way that they can. I'm almost getting the feeling like they want to lend you some of their energy, like almost like, hey, I am someone who, and I've just got the message that this could be someone who, it doesn't even have to be someone who is necessarily directly in your life. If it resonates for you that this is someone who, like, from history or, I mean, I guess even fiction, if you're here for a fictional character and then that's resonating with you, then you take this, or like a celebrity or something like that who you look up to, someone who has accomplished something that could be similar to what you're looking to accomplish, or not quite the same, but like the energy or the vibe or the way that they go about what they do in their life could be useful to you at this time. Like I'm feeling like they want to lend you some of their energy, like almost like you can call on them when you need more strength, more energy, more power, more will to keep going. And they're offering that to you, and they're saying that's yours for the taking. And I feel like this is something that, with the Page of Swords reversed, I'm definitely, for a lot of you, I feel like this is something unspoken or something that they don't want to do overtly. And for a lot of you, this could simply be because they're no longer in this mortal coil. But it could also be because they're not directly in your life. It's more of like a spiritual kind of assistance and guidance. So they can't speak it outright to you, communicate it directly. And if they are living and they are in your life, then they may not know how to offer this to you. Perhaps this is a situation where you've maybe you're trying to do things on your own. Maybe in the past you've sort of like told them to back off a little bit. Like you don't know, they don't know how to come forward, I suppose, and make this offer to you. So they might try to do it in like a subtler way. But another message that's coming through here is they're telling you that there's like this belief in you that you have it in you. You've got this. Like, you know the truth, or you know what's really real for you, and you can find the answers that you seek within yourself. There's a real, there's a pride and courage. And I'm not sure if courage is referring to this person, but although with the King of Wands here, they're definitely a very courageous person. I feel that. But if maybe it's like a pride in your courage. I feel like this person is really proud of you, and they see you as very brave. And I feel like they're offering you this energy of theirs because they see that it's already something present in you. And so it's almost like they're telling you whatever you admired in me, because I feel like regardless of if you had a difficult or have a difficult relationship with this person in some way, I feel like there is an admiration there. I heard grudging admiration. So for some of you, perhaps you begrudge a little bit the admiration you have for this person, but they're saying that you have this spirit, this energy, this strength that you see in them, that you admire in them, this courage, is what they see in you. They see it in you. They see you as having this. And so, in a sense, it's not even like, yes, maybe they are offering some of their energy to you in that if you want to call on them to bring you strength in moments where you need it, that will help embolden what's already within you. But they're saying it's not coming from them. You wouldn't be able to call on it if it wasn't already within you. And there's also a message here about trusting yourself. Trust yourself. You know what is right for you. You know what to do. You are a deeply intuitive person. You are someone who, I feel like you have the capacity to cut through limiting beliefs, limitations, and maybe you've done this many times before. And so if you're facing any challenges now, any limiting beliefs now, this person is reassuring you and reminding you how many times you've broken through limiting beliefs before, limitations that you've perceived before, and how you can do it again. And I heard with ease. So I feel like you are someone who, you have, especially if this is a family relationship, if this person is from your ancestral line in some way, I almost feel like you have broken through some limiting beliefs that have held back your family for a long time. And either they're part of your family and so they see this and understand this, or they can observe from what they know of you. But I feel like, yeah, they're like, you're smart enough, you're strong enough, you've got this. And they're really telling you, look within, and don't take advice from anyone unless that advice hits with something that you feel in yourself. Don't take advice from someone just because they're supposed to know better than you for some reason or another, right? It's like, no, you hear someone's advice, and if it pings your intuition inside you and you're like, yes, that's right, then you go for it. But if you're like, I don't really feel like that's for me, it doesn't matter who's saying it. It doesn't matter if it's the smartest person on earth. It might not be the advice for you, and you can trust yourself, trust your intuition, and know that, yeah, you've got this. Like, this is someone who's just really encouraging you towards empowerment, to feel empowered in yourself, really telling you that you are supported, you are supported by this loved one, by these archangels here who have come through in this reading, very powerful energies, and nothing is too much for you. Nothing is a match for you. I'm like almost like, okay, like whatever challenge you're facing is no match for you. Yes, that's what I'm hearing. So whether this is about something that you are looking to accomplish or something that has happened in your life that is difficult, like you've been facing difficulties, this is someone who believes in you so deeply, who knows that you can do this, you've got what it takes, who is lending you their support and energy because it is aligned with the energy that's already inside of you. And so you can draw that strength from them, but know that you don't need them. It's more like their energy is like a talisman to help you believe in your own energy, right? And eventually you won't even need that. Because it feels like you are in the process of breaking through some limiting beliefs, breaking through some disbelief in yourself that is bringing you to a place of further empowerment, and they're here alongside you for that journey. And you can call on them, you can call on these archangels anytime you need. This is a group that's really, like, you're very supported, whether you know it or not. I really, like, there's just such a strong, firm energy here that, like, leaves no room for argument. Like, this person will not hear, this person is someone who, like, will not hear any self-deprecation from you, will not accept that, not because they see no flaws, not because, like, you're like, not because you're not allowed to have doubts in yourself, but more because they know that, like, it's only a matter of time. No matter what doubts you have, no matter what things you're trying to overcome that you view as in your way, they know you're going to do it. They know you're going to do it. So they're this certainty that you need to have in yourself. And so, again, like, there's something in their certainty, their strength of, like, conviction that they are lending to you until such time as you understand that you've always had that in yourself. Very encouraging, very empowering energy here. And maybe some of that rage, some of that anger that could be misunderstood. And perhaps this is something that's been misunderstood from you. And of course, I'm not talking about moments where someone has been like has used anger in a damaging, dangerous, threatening way. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about the fact that anger is not inherently a negative emotion and does not have to lead to destruction or damage or anything like that. And so perhaps there's something in this person where, unless of course they've threatened to hurt you in any way, that's different. But in this person who maybe they're perceived as intimidating, maybe they have a bit of anger that drives them in what they do, and maybe that's been misunderstood a bit by you. Maybe you've had trouble accepting your anger and passion within yourself. And so one thing that they're helping you to do energetically or in whatever way is helping you harness that, helping you harness the energy, like anger. If you find that something that you push away or that you feel threatened by within yourself, you're learning how to harness that as energy to fuel you, to fuel your pursuits, in a way that is constructive rather than destructive. So, any last messages from the quote cards for group number 1 from you, their loved one? Any last messages that you have for them before we close out this reading? We have this card here, and then I have just another pile. Oh, this one came out too. I'm going to take that. I think they want you to have that one too. All right, so any closing messages for group 1, please, from this pile. Anything else you want to say to them? I'll shuffle it up one more time. Anything else you want to say to group 1, please? Group 1's loved one. Oof, no, that's too much, man. I'll give it one more shuffle because you're enthusiastic. All right. Any last closing message for group 1, please? That's too many. So I'm going to go with the 2 that we already have, actually. Because I almost feel like this person wants to be a little bit more direct and to the point anyway. So we have this imagery here with all these different bubbles with different, like, landscapes and things in it. And then we have Stress is caused by being here but wanting to be there, or being in the present but wanting to be in the future. From The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This is them, I feel like, telling you to be patient with yourself, that wherever you want to go, especially if you're having trouble being present with where you are right now because it's not where you want to be, maybe, again, like if you're facing a recent challenge that's made your current situation difficult. This person, again, wanting to know that they're there for you, supporting you, but also knowing that you need to have patience in the situation, that you're getting there. You'll be where you want to be. Focus on, in any way that you can, working on being where you want to be in this moment. It doesn't mean that you have to feel amazing in each and every moment. It's not about that. It's more about acceptance. Radical acceptance of the current moment, no matter what it holds. And them reassuring you that this moment won't last forever, that moments of stress, moments of panic or fear, moments of frustration won't last forever. Be present as present as you can with yourself through each of those moments. And this is coming from someone as well who, if they did have any like anger issues, or if they're someone who maybe struggled to control their emotions in some way, this is perhaps a do as I say, not as I do kind of message, where they're like, you have the capacity to learn what I never learned in terms of how to be present with your emotions, your more difficult ones, rather than allowing them to overtake you and become destructive. And they're encouraging you to rely on that, because that's something that they never had but value in you. And then we have this card here, the wolf and the arrow. It says, stop treating your pain like it's something you imagined. If you can see the wound is real, then you can heal it. From Leigh Bardugo from Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. So yeah, like, again, that acceptance of the present moment, that acceptance of whatever pain or frustration you're feeling, that not running away from whatever's hurting you. And this is especially relating to anyone who's dealing with persistent, maybe pain, emotional or physical, from a certain event, something that's still raw for you, or something that happened long ago that maybe is still coming up and bothering you. This reassurance that it's safe to allow that to surface. And especially too, because this person coming through, like I said, you might have had a tense or have a tense relationship with them. If there's things that they've said or done that have hurt you, they're also encouraging you to acknowledge that, to be honest with them about that, I suppose, only if you can, but to, more than anything, be honest with yourself about that, to not let that eat away at you for the rest of your life, to address it directly, to name it for what it is, and to know that it's okay to have complex and complicated feelings about people that you love in your life, and to have complex and complicated relationships with them, and to love some things and hate others about your situation, your relationship, and to hold those things in yourself at once. And yeah, just to allow the complexity and the nuance of your feelings and emotions to exist. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the overarching message here is like, you have what it takes, and this person is here supporting you in whatever way they can, in whatever way is actually realistic and possible for them to do, depending on the nature of this relationship and the nature of their existence at this time. But yeah, regardless of any tension that's been here, there's a level on which this person supports you so deeply and believes so deeply in you. Really, really does. So whatever it is that you're facing, or whatever it is that you're looking to achieve, you can do this. You've got this. Truly. There's so much power here. And like, I've got this sense that you don't see the full scope of it yet, but you will. You will. Just keep going. Okay. Okay. That's all we have for you, Group 1. Then I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please, I would love to hear more about, if you want to share more about this loved one who came through for you. or about the messages that you received and how they apply to your life. So please comment if you feel called to. Like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. And as I mentioned earlier, I do offer personal readings on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. So check out the link in the description. And if you're interested in other services like hypnosis from my mom and I, certified consulting hypnotist, then you can check out that on our website as well. So yeah, thanks again for watching Group 1. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 2. If you selected Archangel Uriel's stone, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading, which is about cozy messages to warm your heart from a loved one. Can be one that you have on your mind, could be someone that comes through unexpectedly. Maybe you've got more than one group here with a message. Regardless, what we're going to do is I'm going to first flip over these cards, which will tell us something about the loved one coming through, and then we'll get more cards for messages from them. So as always, go in with an open mind, stay curious. If this group ends up not being for you, you can pick a different group, whatever you want to do. But let's flip over these cards and see who's coming through for you. So first, with your angel card here, we have fun. Your guidance is to take time to enjoy yourself, relax and find your sense of humor, treat things lightly. Fun brings lightness of spirit, and the most difficult situation can be eased if you see the funny side of things. So cultivate a sense of the ridiculous. How can you bring play, laughter, and fun into your social life, your relationships, your work life? When you have fun, the angels rejoice, for there is nothing they love more than joy, play, humor, and laughter. Affirmation, I master my emotions. So this is meant to be telling us something about the person who's coming through for you, but you can also take that message as advice if it resonates. And this can be someone who is currently living in your life, passed on. It could even be someone who's not directly like in your life, like a celebrity or something like that, or whatever it is, the intention is, however, that the messages will be loving, that it will be coming from a place of love and wisdom. So, and then we have, I think I'm going to need to cover this card up. Let's see. We have your tarot card, which is, I do, the Wheel of Fortune. Let me just get something to cover up part of this. Yeah. Just cover that up. Is that covered up properly? Oops. Whoops, I bumped the thing. It's not the best. It's not the best thing to use for that. Let's see. Wait, that might work. Hold on. Let's use this instead. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so Wheel of Fortune. And then we have a Feminine Archetypes card, which all the people on these cards are women, but that does not mean that this person is a woman. They can be any gender. We'll get into it, but the Feminine Archetype card coming through for them is the Poetess. So, poet. All right, so, okay. The energy I'm getting for the person who's coming through for you, Group 2, is someone who is, first of all, could be very fun, have a sense of humor, lighthearted. Could be someone that you have fun with. Could be like a friend, for example, that you have fun with. But, any relationship is possible here. And also someone who's quick-witted, good with words, maybe even literally a comedian, or could be like a writer, a poet, literally, or someone who, like, an author, or someone who just writes in their spare time, storyteller, someone who I feel like you can laugh with, you have a good time with, maybe, I'm definitely feeling like a lighthearted energy, but I'm also feeling something heavier underneath that. So it's possible that this could be someone from your past who you once had a lot of fun with, who may not be in your life anymore. Or this could be someone who, more to their personality, they may carry a lot under the surface, so they might come across as someone who's very lighthearted and fun, but have a lot going on underneath, more depth to them than they let on in, everyday situations, more stuff going on in their life than they tend to talk about. someone who's been through a lot in the past, potentially, who's been through a lot of ups and downs with the Wheel of Fortune here. But ultimately, it feels like someone who feels very lucky to have or have had you in their life, or you feel very lucky to have them. Both, I feel like it would be a very mutual feeling in most cases. And yeah, and someone who either has a way with words in such a way where they've said things to you that have been really profound and really life-changing for you, or you've had really deep conversations, or I'm feeling like someone who could, not for everyone, of course, but this could be someone who's quite romantic, and perhaps this is a romantic interest of yours, or someone who has a romantic connection with you in some way, as well, because I'm getting like someone who's literally writing poetry, like love poetry for someone, right? Or like writing a song for someone. Like this could be someone who, like, you know, I'm getting like someone who like maybe like played the guitar for you. Like I'm getting like around a campfire, like almost like a stereotypical like summer love, like summer camp like vibe, or like, you know, they like played the guitar for you around a campfire or something like that. I don't know, maybe that's a very specific memory for someone here even, but it doesn't have to be, and that's not for everyone, because it definitely doesn't have to be a romantic situation, but that is the kind of person that's coming through here. And it's either that, or they have more to say to you that they have not said in person, like there's like feelings that run deeper, or like things that they've wanted to talk to you about or express that they haven't done so yet, but they want to, or they wanted to if they can't anymore. So with that being said, also, not necessarily, but they could have red hair. I don't always like take the descriptions of the people on the cards as signs, but I just got this feeling of like, oh, red hair. So not for everyone, obviously. Taking the other card into account, they could have dark features, dark skin, dark hair as well. But it doesn't have to be quite so literal as all that. Candles to flames, orange. The color orange, even if it's not like the hair, is significant. There's fire energy coming through to me, even though there's not like a fire card out here yet. Which is interesting because there was a lot of fire energy in group 1. Okay. Actually, one second. Uriel's primordial earth. Okay, so no, not fire. All right, well, anyway, let's get into their messages to you then. Oh, also, this flower here, I believe that's a lily? No. Is that the word? Is that the flower I'm looking for? Well, that's the one that came through, so perhaps it's a lily. That could be someone's name, or that could be a significant flower, or just flowers in general. Maybe this person's gotten you flowers or something like that. So let's see then. What cozy, heartwarming messages do you have for group 2? My dear group 2's loved one. Okay, well, we have 3 cards coming out together. Similar thing happened in group 1, actually. We have the World, 9 of Swords, the Emperor. Okay, song is coming to me. Northern Downpour by Panic at the Disco. I know the world's a broken bone, but melt your headaches, call it home. So, Northern Downpour by Panic at the Disco could be significant for you. That also is a very melancholy song. It can be construed as a bit romantic with certain lyrics as well, but doesn't have to be. But like very emotional, melancholy, and I see it as like, I hear it as a song of like someone reassuring another person, especially that line, I know the world's a broken bone, but melt your headaches, call it home. It's like, I know things have been difficult, or I know that you're in pain, or that you're struggling, but like there's like a comfort here of like, you know, like reassurance. There's a reassurance there's also an urging to accept your lot in life, or to accept yourself, or to accept your situation. What other messages do you have for group 2? Justice, and then anything else? Anything else for group 2? 10 of Wands. Okay. 5 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. There's definitely a bit of a melancholy feeling here. And it could be that this person just comes through with that because, like, with the poet energy, the poetess energy coming through, they could have, again, like a way with words, and maybe they can be a bit melancholy at times, a little melodramatic, not necessarily in a negative way, but in a way that they could be someone who romanticizes things, and so the way that they'll communicate with you can also be a bit romantic in the platonic sense, or in the, like, romantic love sense. Like, you know how romance isn't necessarily, like, about, like, romantic relationships. It can be, like an attitude, a perspective that you view certain situations from. You can use romantic language in a way where it's, like, more flowery or over the top. And I'm definitely feeling like there's a romantic energy here, whether you guys are family, friends, platonic. And I mean that, like, romantic, not in the sense of, like, romantic relationship, like romantic, like when you romanticize something, you're, like, very in your feelings about it, you're very dramatic about it, you're like this is like someone who's like I'm getting, like, very Sam Frodo vibes, right? Like, this is like a Sam, like someone who's like, I'll, like, you know, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, platonically or romantically. Really, it doesn't matter which one it is, but it's just the vibe of, like, you know, you're this person's, like, in this with you together. That's the feeling I'm getting, like, and that there's someone who would be very, like, prone to, or would like to have, like, this moment of deep connection where they can tell you, like, very sincerely that how important you are to them. And that's really what's coming through here. So with the World, 9 of Swords, the Emperor, Justice, 10 of Wands, I'm getting the sense that this person, there is this feeling of, like, going, like, I would go to the ends of the earth for you. There is this feeling of also concern or worry. Like, this person might worry about you a bit, worry that they hurt you, or worry that you're hurting. And they also might see your worries as well. Like, again, like the Northern Downpour song coming through as someone, like, seeing how someone might be struggling a bit with the world at this time, but also, like, urging them to think of themselves and allow themselves to relax into life a bit more, not put the weight of the world on your shoulders. And especially with the Emperor here coming through. Now, this could be... I hate this because I know, like I mentioned, like, romantic energy, but this could be, like, a fatherly kind of energy as well. Like, this could be someone who's, like, taking care of you from the standpoint of, like, really wanting to take, I mean, it could be either way, but taking good care of you in life and wanting you to take care of yourself, but also seeing your strength and power. I feel like seeing your independence, seeing how much you take on and hold on your shoulders. This is an acknowledgement of that you've got a lot on your plate, or that you are responsible for a lot, and they see that, and they want to kind of even the score is what's coming through, but, like, even the playing field, help balance things. I feel like there's this sense, this could be someone who either can see in your life that you've been overburdened or had a lot on your plate, like more than your share of burdens, or this could be someone who, like, maybe if you're currently in a relationship with them, or they're in your life in some way, they can see that you've been burdened by them, by their situation, or, like, maybe, like for example, if you're in say you were married to this person, it's like they might be extra busy, and you might, like, with certain things, and, like, maybe, like, a family situation, and so you've been having to do more of, like, the day-to-day upkeep and everything, and maybe taking care of them a bit, or, like, if this is a family member, maybe they've been ill and you've been taking care of them, that kind of thing. It feels like while this is someone that you've had a lot of fun with, perhaps in recent times there hasn't been as much time or opportunity for fun. maybe they haven't been able to be as fun, or they haven't been able to be as present in your life, and they miss those times, they miss having fun, but they also worry that their lack of presence or their lack of ability to be in those spirits is burdening you. And there's a lot of gratitude here, though, for the way that you've been there for them, or the way that you just the presence, the person that you've been in their life, even if you're not like currently in their life, or you're not like taking care of them in some way at this moment. I feel like you're just your presence in their life, you're being someone who's been significant to them is something that they're really grateful for. I'm definitely getting this feeling of gratitude, of wanting to do you justice, of wanting to take care of you in some way, or just help you out in some way. And I am getting the vibe, like, for this group, for the last group, it could there's a range of possibilities, but I felt like for more people it was more likely that was a more indirect or spiritual connection. So either someone who's passed or isn't directly in their life anymore, or who's coming through more in their higher self form, right? In this group, I feel like this is more likely, although not exclusively. So if it resonates to be someone who's not in your life anymore, someone who's coming through in their like this could definitely be someone who's like not always an active figure in your life right now. Like, again, like this could be someone who you just haven't seen in a while, for example. But I'm getting a more grounded feeling like this is someone who is at least incarnate in this 3D realm at this time. And it doesn't have to be. Like, if it's resonating that it's someone who's passed on or something like that, then you can take that and just run with it. But I'm feeling more of you here. This is someone who's like either actively in your life right now, or at least in this mortal realm at this current time, and potentially like will continue to be in your life for some time. I'm also getting like a more youthful energy than I did in group one. Like, and this could just be young soul versus old soul, but it could be literally like physically your age, or a bit younger, or at least not that much older than you, if they are older than you, not old. Whereas I was getting a bit of an older energy in group one. So I'm feeling like this is more like a peer, potentially. Or at least that's the way that your relationship feels to you. Like you're the same age, or close to the same age in some way. I also feel like this is someone, like there's something here about this person being with you through thick and thin, like through ups and downs. Again, like Sam Frodo vibes, like Sam and Frodo from The Lord of the Rings. I realized I didn't explain that. And just for anyone who isn't familiar with Lord of the Rings, Sam and Frodo are two of the characters who end up embarking like on their part of the quest together, separate from the rest of the group, and they're very, very devoted and committed friends, and to the point where they are often interpreted as more than friends at certain points, but it's kind of like ambiguous. I mean, I don't think it was actually meant to be ambiguous, but it comes across as ambiguous to a lot of people nowadays. So, in the sense that I think they were like meant to be platonic, but like they could be construed as romantic. It's one of those things. But in any case, the most important part is that they're clearly very devoted to each other, and in the dynamic, Sam is the one taking care of Frodo more often because he's the one who's carrying the burden of the ring. Yes, and that is the dynamic here. And so while I was saying like perhaps you were having to take care of some things for them, I did kind of mention this, but there's this way in which they're concerned about how you're burdened by either their situation or just by something in your life. Like they see how much you take on. Yeah, there's this sense of wanting to ease your burdens, to lift some things off your shoulders, some weights off your shoulders. And there's a bit of a question as to whether or not they're able to help you do this. I do feel like this is someone who, I said this before, but has things that are left unsaid to you in some way. And they want to express these things to you. Maybe some things that they want to express to you will take some weight off your shoulders in some sense. But this is someone who would be with you through thick and thin, who would be willing to be, even if they can't be in the physical world right now. I'm also hearing, not for everyone, but for some of you, this is like a relationship that ended in the past in some way, friendship or romantic, or separated in some way, that they still think about and have regrets about, and can see the inequality that the relationship was in due to, it feels like this person could be hard on themselves, but it doesn't feel like it's a situation where it was cut and dry, like one person was at fault or the other. It feels like more circumstantial, if that makes sense. Of course, whatever your situation is, you'll know. And so you can take that or leave it if it resonates. But there's the potentiality as well that this is a past relationship that simply had some difficult circumstances happen that they still think about and still want to make right in some way. Even if whatever happened wasn't really like their fault necessarily, it was more just like the circumstances were what it was. This could also be, it doesn't have to be like a past relationship. This could be in a current one where maybe there's just something that happened where they feel like they want to make something up to you or make something right. Again, like ease your mind, ease your burdens in some way. It's very sweet energy, but again, there's something melancholy here. There's something like a weight that this person is carrying, and I feel like they don't like to occupy this space, because while they could be, maybe they are a very fun, witty, dramatic person at times, like they don't like to occupy they have some discomfort with like expressing serious emotions sometimes, I think, even though they may be very good at it, if that makes sense. Like there's this urge to keep things light and fun and airy, but yet there's this desire to divulge some deeper feelings, emotions, and truths that they might just not be fully. And it could be partially because of the situation. Like again, if they're feeling like you're going through a lot, or you're really burdened, or they have a lot going on in their life, they might want to like engage on a deeper level, but they also might be afraid of like adding to the weight in your life. Like it would be too heavy or weighty, even if it's like I'm feeling like the like a deep love confession, or the desire to really let you know like that they're there for you in a way that like could come off as heavy, even if it's welcome, right? You know what I mean? And that might be a bit of a misguided notion on their point, because I feel like you would be open to hearing that, and that might actually ease some of the weight for you, because it almost feels like you've been feeling this too, and hearing them say it, having them voice it out loud would actually make you feel better. Like you would both feel like you're aligned and not alone in the situation that you're in. But it could also be like that's mirrored on your part. Maybe you are also having trouble vocalizing some of these things too. Like there's some heavy things that have happened in your life or in this situation that you want to talk about, but it's hard for you to express that too, because you have some of the same fears. And if that's the case, then perhaps you want to take this into account if that resonates, and initiate something, or open the door a little bit for that. If, of course, this person is in your 3D life and can receive that at this time. But if that's not possible right now, or that's just not the case, there's this feeling of like, I just heard I love you. So there's that. But there's this feeling of like, whatever this relationship is, in spite of, even if it's been mostly just like, oh, we just like have a good time and we have fun together, there's this feeling of like, but there's more to it. That you are deeply meaningful and important to this person, whether they express it all the time or not, and they want to, but at the same time, like, that's part of their message to you. I feel like this isn't, I don't know if this is like the coziest message, because it feels a little bit like, again, there's like a melancholy element to it, but I feel like that could be cozy. It's like a weighted blanket, a weighted blanket of someone else's love being placed on your shoulders. That's the feeling I'm getting right now. It's kind of like someone who wants to give you a big hug and just like reassure you and comfort you and say that they're here for you all the time, and that you mean a lot more to them than they may have expressed. Yeah. All right. I'm going to get just a few final messages from the quote cards that I have. I have cards with quotes on them and fun images. And we're just going to see group 2, what closing message they have for you. Do they have any closing messages for you? So did I say group 3? You're group 2. All right, group 2. Group 2's loved one. What closing message or messages do you have for group 2, please? Group 2's loved one. What closing messages do you have for group 2? Okay, we have this. And I have one more pile of quote cards. So if they want anything else, if they want to say anything else, group 2. Group 2's loved one. Group 2's loved one. Okay. Oh, okay, there's 2. Okay. So we have this like wave, this ocean wave here. We have, you are something that the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing, from Alan Watts. And I'm getting this, I actually recently got this card with like a similar message, but this feeling of like a deep spiritual connection between you and this person. Like whatever you're feeling, they're feeling, whatever you're doing, they're doing. Like this idea of like, I'm always with you even when I'm not with you, that kind of feeling. And also just a reminder that like you are one part of a bigger picture. And again, like they want to take the weight of the world off your shoulders, to say like, you don't have to do it all. You are not in control of all the outcomes here. You don't have to like take on blame or responsibility for every ill that you see in the world or in your life around you. That there are forces at work beyond you that can help you. Whether this person is spiritual, religious or not, that could be a message from their higher self if they're not, if you accept that for your own beliefs, but also it can be just them assuring you that they're also working with you. They want to be a team with you in your life and work with you in whatever way they can to just bring you some comfort and assistance. And then we have this card here with, often does hatred hurt itself, from The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. So yeah, we have a quote from Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings did come up before when I was talking about Sam and Frodo, so perhaps The Lord of the Rings is a significant story for you. Often does hatred hurt itself. I sometimes take this quote out of context, obviously in the context of the reading, to reference self-hatred, and but I feel like, so this could be a reference to maybe there's some shame that you or they or both of you are dealing with, that they're acknowledging, and maybe it even got in the way or gets in the way sometimes of your relationship. And so there's an acknowledgement there of like, you know, if they lashed out at you, that was only like from their own personal issues and it really wasn't directed at you. Or if you laughed out at them, they understand that it wasn't really about them, that kind of thing. I'm also, though, getting the message of, like, often does hatred hurt itself? Like, if you're someone who does feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, and maybe you've been preoccupied by some of the, like, hate that you see out in the world that is directed at, well, maybe directed at anyone, maybe directed at, like, you know, a group that you belong to specifically, whatever it is, this reassurance of the idea that, like, you don't have to focus on that all the time, on those people, on stopping the hate and this and that, that sometimes in some way, when people put that out there in the world, it's hurting them more than anyone else. And maybe that's not true in every case, right? Obviously, like, there's people who do horrible things to each other and enact that in destructive ways, but this idea that, like, you don't have to, like, seek revenge or, like, I don't know, take some kind of action against every single bad act that you see, that there are other forces in the universe that can account for that can take care of that can work on your behalf, you know, and you don't have to take on responsibility for all of that. And then we have this card here, all these books, and it says, she likes to read. She reads all the time, and she prefers to be reading several things at once. She says it gives endless perspective and dimension. From Autumn by Alice Smith. Yeah, well, if you're a reader, this is an acknowledgement of like that this person sees that, knows that, and loves that about you, appreciates that about you, or whatever your interests are, whatever things that you get really caught up in, swept up in. I feel like this person may share some of those interests, and so it's like the acknowledgement of like how much they enjoy sharing certain hobbies with you, talking about certain interests with you, or if you don't share every same interests, they enjoy hearing about yours, even if it's not one of theirs. But there's this definite also appreciation for your perspective and the nuance and the depth that you bring to certain conversations, and just like this feeling of like you have a very unique perspective, and they really respect and admire it and find it very interesting. And I'm even getting the idea of like, if you're someone who shares your views online in some way, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you have a blog or something like that, that if they listen to or watch or read things that you put out there, or like if you've written a book or done anything like that, this person appreciates your stories, your ideas, or at least the things that you create. I feel like they get some new ideas and perspective from the things that you share with them. Yeah. This is it's a really sweet and beautiful one, but it's interesting because while I feel like this person, again, like there's like a lightheartedness in your relationship with them and in how they like act, there's a lot of depth and like heaviness underneath that. That's really interesting. Anything else? Group 2's person? I'm just getting the imagery of like a wrought iron gate. Like to a garden or from the front of a house, I don't know. And like greenery, spring. I'm getting the book Tuck Everlasting. For some reason that's coming to me. Like there's like a fence where Winnie, the main character, sees a toad and she's trapped behind the fence, and she sees the toad is like dying of thirst, and so she goes to get water for it, to pour on top of it because she doesn't want it to dry out. And the book Tuck Everlasting has like a lot of themes around like childhood, growing up, understanding the cycles of life and death, and like mortality versus immortality and things like that. That could be an interesting read for you, or maybe it's a significant book for you. Yeah. But now I think that's it. So thank you so much, Group 2, for watching this reading. Please, if you're interested in sharing, or you feel called to share more about like the loved one that we connected with here, or about like what the messages mean to you, feel free to comment. I would love to hear from you. If you want to like, subscribe, do all those things, that would be amazing. And if you are interested in personal reading, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com. Link is in the description. And my mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists. So if you're interested in hypnosis as a possible tool for you to help you on your journey, then feel free to check that out at our link as well. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 3. If you selected Archangel Raphael's Angel Stone, then you're in the right place, and this is your reading with cozy, heartwarming messages from a loved one. It can be any loved one, someone on your mind, whoever comes through for you, expected or unexpected, living, passed on, someone you know in this reality, someone you don't know in this reality. Whatever it is, you just keep an open mind. Be curious, and yeah, of course, if you decide this one doesn't resonate, you can always pick another group, but yeah, trust your intuition. And I'm going to start by flipping over these cards, which will tell us something about who is coming through for you, and then we'll use tarot to get more messages, and we'll close with some quote cards. So let's see. So let's see who's coming through first of all. So we have first this angel card with the word abundance. It is time for your life to flow with prosperity, love, and success. You draw from the limitless universal pool according to your belief in how much you deserve. Angel wisdom is reminding you now to believe in yourself and trust that you deserve more. Then you will attract abundance and the true riches of life. To feel surrounded by love, open your heart to others. Choose to do what fulfills you most, and the angels will bring you joy, satisfaction, and success. Enhance your prosperity by receiving graciously, giving out willingly, and saying thank you for everything. Enjoy all you have, and more will come to you. Affirmation, I deserve love, prosperity, and success. All right, so that's something that you can take at face value as a message for you, but also is meant to describe something about the person who is coming through for you. So then we also have this tarot card here. We have Justice coming through. And we have 2 feminine archetype cards, actually, which, they're, by the way, the feminine archetype cards, I've been saying this, only have, like, women on them. But that doesn't mean that the person that we're talking to today is a woman. They could be any gender. But these cards will just be women. So we have the Rebeless, or the Rebel, and we have the Fake. So it's a light card and a shadow card, but we'll talk about it. Okay. So first of all, I'm getting that this person who's coming through, first of all, could be very successful, or could have been very successful. Someone who had a lot of money, literally, or just a lot of, like, prosperity in general, like, just opportunities, just like an abundance of love, of, like, energy, something. They had a lot of something, or have a lot of something. This is someone who I feel like it also could be very generous with you specifically, or maybe just generous in general with whatever it is that they have an abundance of. I just heard an overabundance of. And with Justice coming through, I'm also feeling like Libra energy could be significant, actually. But also someone who has, like, a dual nature, 2 sides of themselves. Because we do have this light and dark, or light and shadow attribute cards coming through. So this Fake card, I'm feeling, isn't necessarily negative per se, but this is someone who could wear a lot of faces, who might be very good at blending in social situations and wearing a lot of different personalities and hats, so they can get along with a lot of different people in a lot of different rooms. I'm getting, like, either an extrovert here, or just someone who's very good at navigating, like, crowded rooms and navigating conversations with other people, with all different kinds of people. But someone who maintains their independence, definitely. Someone who is not afraid to sometimes, like, start something, maybe. Like, they could be someone who's, like, they're not afraid to have, like, a little bit of a debate. I'm getting, like, with the Justice card here, like, this could be someone who could be, like, a literal lawyer, maybe someone who actually, like, works in a courtroom and, like, directly debates people and has to use, like, language to like, make a case. But this could also just be someone who, like, just likes to debate or argue sometimes, or, like, just is very good at formulating arguments, or, like, speaking up for what they believe in. And this could be someone who's seen as a bit of, like, not necessarily a rule breaker, but they could be, but also more just, like, someone who steps outside the box, who does what other people could be afraid to do, or looks at things in a bit of a different way. I'm definitely getting someone who's very driven, very passionate about the things that they believe in, someone who cares deeply about fairness, about justice, and yeah, like, who knows how to like, play people. But I don't want to say, it doesn't feel like it's negative. It's usually in service, I feel, of something that they believe in. Like a greater good, like this sense of the greater good. Like, this is a rebel with a cause, is what I'm feeling. And yeah, and as for who they are to you, I do feel like this could be literally anything. So it's really just a matter of, like, who this is resonating to you as. So, like, this could be a familial, I heard acquaintance. So maybe this is even, like, this could be, like, a family friend. This could be part of your family. This could be a friend of yours. This could be literally anyone. Especially if there's someone who specifically is, like, a lawyer, or someone who, like, similarly needs to, like, stand up for certain causes, or spends a lot of time, like, formulating arguments and things like that. But yeah, I'm getting, like, very successful, very outspoken, but also very, like, good at putting on a face when they need to. You know, because sometimes there are people who are, like, rebellious and outspoken, but they're not necessarily, like, out here like they might stir the pot, they might stand up fervently for what they believe in, but they're not necessarily like the ones who like make the arguments to change people's minds. You know what I mean? They're more like asserting their beliefs. Whereas this is someone who I feel like not only asserts their beliefs and stands up for what they believe in, but they also know how to make a good argument for it. And they like are very clever about it, like sly, you know, like foxy. Like they can get inside people's heads, they can get under their skin, they can kind of like manipulate people. But again, I feel like they often use these powers for good. Like that's what I'm getting. Like they do it for a just cause, or what they view as a just cause. Definitely confident. Someone who also I feel like stands on their own. No matter if they are like single or not, no matter if they are someone who has like a lot of friends or not, they definitely stand on their own. They definitely have a very independent energy in some sense. So with that being said, let's get some messages from this person, some loving, heartwarming messages from this person to you. And while it feels like this is someone, by the way, who like I feel like this is like I'm getting pretty good vibes from this person. I do, similar to group 1, I think it was, get the vibe that this could also be someone who you have at times maybe had some tension with. Like this is someone who I feel like could be very contentious no matter what. But I do feel like for most of you, this is overall a positive relationship. So let's see. Group 3. Oh my god, I almost mixed up. I think I mixed up you guys in group 2 when I was in group 2 also. Maybe there's some messages for there as you for oh my god, for you there as well. All right, so group 3's loved one. What heartwarming messages do you have for them? What do you want to convey to them from love? Okay, so we have the moon, number 18, the tower, number 16, and the 5 of swords. The moon, the tower, and the 5 of swords. And what else do you have to say to the hermit, group number 3, and what else? Temperance and the Page of Wands. Okay, so it feels like this person could, actually, there could be some concerns over, like, if you guys have potentially had any kind of arguments lately, there could be fears over this having, like, I don't know, ruined your relationship seems a little bit dramatic, but I guess in some cases that could be relevant. But there's a sense that maybe maybe this person did overstep. Maybe they said something a little bit too cutting or conniving or something like that in some way that hurt you. And now, like, you're taking some time apart or something. I feel like that's not for everyone, per se. I feel like that's a possibility, though. I do feel like there is also, though, there's a sense that, okay, if there's something that you're afraid of, if there's a fear that you're facing right now, or perhaps you're afraid, and it could be in this relationship or in your life in general, you're afraid of something falling apart, something going wrong, or there's some big change you're going through, and there's like an element of the unknown, and you have a lot of fears. This person is like, you can win. You can win this, though. You've got this. Almost like I guess like the lawyer vibes are coming through again. Listen, my twin sister's a lawyer, so that's definitely like coming through strong. Like her energy was coming through strong, and I don't know if it's because some of her energy is here in this group, or because this was signaling to me like that's an important aspect of whatever loved one is coming through for you. But regardless, there's a sense of like, you can win this, you've got this. And it's like if say like there's a legal matter that you're facing and it feels impossible, or just feels like it's going to be so frustrating and take a long time, or you don't know how it's going to work out for you, there's this feeling of like, no, like, you've got this, you can win this, you're gonna be okay, like this wanting to reassure you in this circumstance. But there's also this feeling of of knowing that there's certain things that you need to do on your own. There are certain things that you need to figure out on your own that they might need to figure out on their own as well. And they understand that too. Maybe, I mean, for some of you, this can be like if you did have some kind of argument, understanding that you need space and time. And there's this feeling of like wanting to rush in and reassure whatever the circumstance actually is, whether it's an argument or just something that you're concerned about, but then also understanding that you might not want to hear from them, or they might not be the person that you need to hear this from right now. But nevertheless, they want to communicate this with you. It's interesting because it almost feels like, although they are someone who is very good at navigating a lot of social situations and different situations, and someone who, like, generally knows how to convey their points well, that they may still be quite insecure about how they communicate, especially how they communicate with you, or how they've communicated recently with you. But there's also this sense of like, be patient and things will feel lighter again soon. Like you'll get your mojo back, you'll get your spark back, or you'll both like have fun together again soon. So there's definitely a sense that for some of you, it's going to be like something within this relationship that's causing turmoil or stress right now that they're acknowledging, and they're also giving you time and space to process. And then in other cases, it's like external circumstances, which might be keeping you two apart at this time, or just like, you might not be able to be in each other's lives as much right now, but there's also this faith in like your ability to navigate whatever situation you're in and their ability to do so, and trusting that with time you're going to both reunite and you're going to feel like things are going to be better. Like the Page of Wands is to me like so energetic, so inspired, so ready for adventure, And I almost feel like whatever changes are happening right now, it might seem scary at first, and it might seem like there might be some things you need to process, but eventually it's going to be like, oh wait, no, this is actually going to be a really cool thing that's like going, like this is going to be a really cool adventure. And I feel like the message they're coming through with is one, not only of reassurance, but of understanding, of saying, no, I understand where you're at, if you have complicated emotions, or if you need time alone, you need time to process things. This could also be a general reassurance, it feels like, for some of you, of like I'm getting the sense that you and this person may be very different. Honestly, I feel like that's the crux of the dynamic that I'm getting here, is that in some way you and this other person come across as very different people. And so there could be, that's where I was getting maybe some tension, where there could be some misunderstandings between the two of you, because you might see things in different ways, or just act in different ways, where one or both of you might feel at times that the other person is like not taking into account their individual needs and desires, right? So like if one person, for example, is more outgoing and energetic, they might be really enthusiastic about like, hey, let's go to a party and let's talk to a bunch of people and let me introduce you to all these people. And then if someone's a little bit more introverted or shy, or just like, they're not about that, then they might be like, well, no, I want to stay in and I'd rather just hang out with you and like not meet a bunch of new people, right? And one person might feel like, oh, well, you're kind of getting in the way of my good time. And the other person might feel like, well, you're really dragging me into a situation that doesn't feel comfortable. And either way, like, that there could be a misunderstanding between those two people, right? So I almost feel like this person coming through and reassuring you that they respect and appreciate the ways in which you are different, and understand that you have your own way of needing to navigate a certain situation right now, whether with them or in general in your life. And this is like a detachment, I just heard, from needing to step in and like tell you what they think you need to do, because I do get the sense this person could be very opinionated and very direct in their language, and may have in the past inserted themselves into things that you would prefer they did not, or presume that their way of doing things was right, or maybe they didn't do this like intentionally. Maybe it was more innocently, like where they were just really enthusiastic or really like passionate about something, and maybe you felt steamrolled, right? Like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting, and this is a feeling of like they're still showing you their support, but from a bit of a distance, from the sidelines, being like, no, you got this, I'm gonna let you do things your own way. That's what I'm feeling. And this sense of like, no, like I never meant to make you feel like the way that you do things or go about things was invalid, or that I didn't appreciate it or respect it. Like they're like, no, like listen, like, and also I feel like there's this because with all this Libra energy here coming through, and this like justice and balance and everything, and then the temperance here too, it's like there's a sense of like, no, we balance each other out. Like, no, I see how we balance each other out, and we can work together more effectively when we respect each other's individual ways of doing things. And so I feel like this is them assuring you that the way you do things is perfectly fine, that they trust you to handle whatever situation you're going through with grace. That's just what specifically came up in my mind, but that may not apply to every situation, but they trust you to handle it with your best foot forward, and that might look different than what they would do, but they're trusting you with the reins, and they're saying, okay, you got this. And there is this sense of coming back to an old way of doing things or being, where, again, like you're more harmonious, you're working together, and there's some way in which you're both equally enthusiastic about the way things are going, and how you're interacting. So I'm seeing, like, you know, in a friendship, you're reuniting, or you're engaging with each other in a way where like you found something that you both are really passionate about, and you both are equally like, yeah, let's do this thing, and you're both excited, and you don't have to compromise with one another in this moment. You're both on the same page, or you do find ways to compromise in certain situations where you're both happy, where it's like, you know, for example, if like one's more extroverted and one's more introverted, it's like maybe instead of going out to a party, you invite people to your place and you stay in, but there's still people there. There's still more people there. So it's like, you know, you have the best of both worlds. You get to stay home in your place, and they get to interact with all these other people, or vice versa. And there's like things like that where I'm feeling like you're finding ways to play to both of your strengths. And this could also be in some kind of project, or in a relationship as well, depending on what your dynamic is. But I feel like there's this way that like you're both seeing the value in each other's different ways of doing things, that then lends to this reignition of this spark of like enthusiasm for whatever it is that you are doing together, whether it's like creating something creative or just having fun, you know, just finding fun things to do, or perhaps working together as well. If this is someone who, this could be coworker didn't come to my mind until just now as a possible relationship dynamic. But yeah, this could also be someone that you work with in some capacity, whether that's the only relationship you have with them or not, or the primary one that you have or not. But yeah, this feels like an acknowledgement both of like your differences and an allowing of you to be who you are and them to be who they are, and an acknowledgement of there needing to be balance between the two of you in order to bring fun, harmony, adventure for both of you to feel safe and comfortable in the relationship, but also like just to enjoy yourselves. And that, like, whatever, if there's something that you're dealing with or you're going through, that they trust you to figure it out. They know that you've got what it takes to handle it, and that they're going to let you do it in your way. not that it's up to them to let you do anything, right? But like maybe in the past they've had trouble not putting in their 2 cents where it wasn't welcome. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to close out with some quote cards. So let's see if there's any closing messages that group 3 has or group 3's loved one has for them. And also, I want to say, like, if there's not necessarily a specific situation you're dealing with right now that they're, like, refraining from putting their 2 cents in with, or, well, they're also saying, like, if you need their help, they're here for you. Like, just ask, you know what I mean? And they're open to doing things your way, but also, like, this could be just a general statement as well of just, like, hey, like, you know, we don't always see eye to eye, or we might, like, go about things in very different ways, but at the end of the day, I respect you, and I understand that, like, your way of doing things is equally valid in any situation, you know what I mean? So let's see. Group number 3. Group number 3's loved one. What closing messages do you have for group number 3? Okay. We have this one. Oh, yeah, and I feel like, honestly, a lot of you might be, whether with this person or individually, starting some kind of new venture in general. Like, in some way, you're starting some kind of new venture. And there is definitely, like, this show of faith in you. Again, even if they're not able to, like, join you on that, or you're doing things differently than they would have, like, they're excited for you. Like, they trust in you. They believe that you'll be successful, and they're excited to help you in any way that they can on your adventure. Oh, okay, I'll take that. Anything else? Group 3's loved one that you want to tell group 3? Okay, that's like too many cards, but we'll take them. We have 4 cards here. Okay, we have this one first with the star here. You have tomorrow is always fresh with no mistakes in it, from Anne with an E. I feel like this person is really just saying that, like, there's nothing that you can, and if this makes sense for your relationship, then for a lot of you, this is like, there's nothing that you could do that would, like, ruin our relationship, basically. So even if you've had a falling out or you've had some tension, they're like, no, I'm still, you know, we can get through this. We can fix this. You know what I mean? Like, it's never too late. But also, I feel like it's a general reassurance that, like, if you are, you know, starting a new chapter or going through, like, a new cycle in your life, that even if you are, like, afraid of making mistakes, like, don't be. You'll learn from them. This is someone who I feel like has accomplished a lot, whether they're, you know, someone who's a bit older than you, more experienced in life, even, you know, of course, they could be a passed on loved one as well, but I feel like for a lot of you, this is someone who's grounded in the 3D reality right now, but, like, whether they're, like, beyond you in years or in the same field you're in, or they're just someone who has had their own share of experiences in life in their separate way, like, there's, like, a reassurance of, like, you've got this, and be resilient. Like, they know how to be resilient, and they're saying, like, you know, mistakes and things like that teach you resilience, and they'll only make you stronger. And also in your relationship, like, mistakes that you make with each other can be a source of newfound strength for one another. So, like, to not panic when you have maybe a little argument or something like that. Like, to know that, like, you're allowed to do that. You're both allowed to do that and come out of it stronger. We have this card here with, who judges the judge who judges wrong? The sentence too weak, the sentence too strong. The penance too quick, the penance too long. Who judges the judge who judges wrong? From Fairest by Gail Carson Levine. Yeah, more that, like, courtroom, like, lawyer kind of vibe. So yeah, I feel like this person, I mean, in general, also is saying, like, you know, if you or they are judged for how you are individually, like, being that you might come across as very different people, that, like, someone else's judgment is not the end all be all of, like, it's like your judgment is the one that matters the most, right? Because your judgment of a situation is the meaning that you create for yourself. So someone else can have a different meaning, but you don't have to take that on as your own. It might not be correct. It's it's not something that you should rely on to inform how you go about your life. But also, it could be a message for you if you've had a falling out with this person that they may not have, as clever as they may be, as good with words as they may be, maybe they misjudged the situation, maybe they misjudged you. And also to say that, again, if like you guys have disagreements about how you go about things in life, that just because something might seem wrong to them doesn't mean it's wrong for you, and vice versa. And so this acknowledgement that things aren't necessarily as cut and dry as you or they would maybe like them to be, that things are not set in stone, they understand that there's nuance, and that they or you or both of you should not be so quick to judge in the future. And then we have this card here with, I reckon every new idea was modern once until it wasn't, from Anne with an E. So 2 quotes from Anne with an E. That's definitely about like thinking outside the box, about being open-minded to what is possible. That makes sense for this person, being someone who I feel like can be a bit outspoken and a bit of a rebel in their own way. So if you're someone who is starting to break out of the box as well, this is them encouraging you, like whatever idea you think might be too weird or too crazy, or if you think that the way that you want to go about something isn't maybe as like tested as the way that like they would go about something, they're saying like, hey, like, just because it's a new idea, just because it's untested doesn't mean that it's wrong. And so like, and whenever a new idea crops up, there's always people who are going to be skeptical of it. It's natural. It's a new idea. But then eventually it becomes normal, regular part of society, and people integrate those ideas into all different kinds of ways, and they can be really positive, they can be maybe not so positive. But just because you have this idea that you don't, maybe this person, right, like maybe this person is like, oh, well, you should do this way because this is what worked for me, but you're like, well, no, I kind of wanted to do it this way. Just because it worked for this one person and it's a tested theory doesn't mean that it's the right one for you. Again, so this person is saying like, dare to be different. If it's different, if different is what's calling to you, then that can work. And then we also have this card here with, if you had a special knack for finding things, it means you owed the world to look, from the Raven Boys with Maggie Stiefvater. Yeah, this person, honestly, I feel like more than anything, they want to encourage you in your success. I do feel like this is someone who has or will be very successful in their life, and they believe in your potential to be as well. And there's this understanding that it might just be in a very different way than they have been successful. But they want you to go for it with everything that you have and to relish in the new adventure. Again, there's the sense that there could be some fear, but they believe in you. They believe that you can win, whatever that means, if winning makes sense in the context of your life. But they also just believe that you have what it takes to make whatever dreams you want come through, or to come through whatever situation that you're dealing with that could be challenging. And that the way that you go about doing this, again, like it might be different. It might not be what they would have done or what they would do. But that doesn't mean that it's wrong. And I think that regardless of who this person is, it feels like whether this is someone who like is older than you look up to, or who is your same age, who just maybe like who has a lot of approval for the way that they've gone about their life or things like that. And maybe there are things about their life that you admire and want to emulate. Like, no matter what that situation is, I do feel like there's admiration that you have for this person that that makes you feel like, oh, I should be more like them. But they're saying, don't be like me. Because they have this, like, rebel card coming out, right? Like, they stand out and stand up and they're their own person. They're like, no, you're the person that you are as an individual is equally valid to who I am, even if it's different. And also, like, don't dare to be different. Be who you are. Do things in your own way. Do things in a way that make you happy, not just because it, like, worked for me, not just because, like, it's the way that I go about life and the way that I've been successful. The way that you will be successful can be very different from mine and still be valid, and maybe someone from the outside would judge things differently. Maybe someone from the outside wouldn't understand that, but I understand that. So, don't even think twice about it. Just be who you are and go on the adventure that you're meant to go on, whatever that is for you. Yeah, so there's a lot of support here. There's a lot of understanding of differences. And there's encouragement, again, to just be your own person. Be who you want to be. Not who this person is or who this person wants you to be, depending on your dynamic, you know? Yeah, they really believe in you. And they're really excited about whatever it is that you're capable of, your potential, or whatever you're working on. Yeah. And I do feel like they want you to know, like, if there's anything they can do to help you with that, they are going to be there. But they're not going to insert themselves unasked, because they understand that they don't want to undermine your autonomy, your inspiration, your ideas. Okay. Group 3, that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Please, if you feel called to comment, I would love to know more about this loved one or about how the messages resonated for you. So feel free to comment that if you'd like. And if you want to subscribe, that would be amazing. You can also check out sunflowerphilosophy.com for personal readings. We do offer those on our website. My mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists. So if you are interested in hypnosis as a tool to help you on whatever journey you're on, then you can also look into that there as well. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 4. If you selected Archangel Michael's stone, then you're in the right place, and this is a reading with messages from a loved one of yours. So I'm going to start by saying, well, first of all, if this loved one can be incarnated now, can be passed on, could be someone you don't even know in this lifetime, really whatever comes through for you. It could be someone on your mind, or you could just see who comes through in this message. You can always pick another group. You can pick more than one group, whatever you want to do. But we're going to start with flipping over these cards to represent something about the loved one coming through. So we're just going to get a feel for who this is, and then we'll get into the tarot with their messages. So let's get into it. We have 2 angel cards for you. We have detachment. According to spiritual law, you can have anything your heart desires. However, if your happiness, sense of security, or feeling of power depends on someone or something in your life, then you are attached to that person or thing, and it is a chain which binds you to a lower frequency and keeps you stuck. Your guidance is to ask the angels to help you cut the cords that tie you to people, things, and emotions. When all attachments are released, you can no longer be manipulated emotionally. This enables you to reclaim your power and be genuine. Free your spirit and that of others. Let go now. Affirmation: I release everyone and everything. My spirit is free. So you could take that as a message for you if that resonates, but these are meant to be about the person who is coming through. We also have another angel card for you. We have acceptance. Acceptance means unconditional love. The angels remind you to accept everyone exactly as they are without judging or blaming or wanting to change them. When you are totally accepting, you bear no malice or enmity towards anyone or anything. Harmlessness through acceptance is a high state of being, and this is a difficult quality for humans to embrace, for it is a divine quality. Nevertheless, the angels are drawing it to your attention now. You are also asked to accept yourself. When you truly do so, you feel centered and confident, and your divine self is revealed. Affirmation: I accept myself and others. Okay, and then you have tarot card here. You have the Queen of Discs, or Queen of Pentacles, for this person who's coming through, and the Child Woman, which is from the Feminine Archetypes deck, which, by the way, it's the Feminine Archetypes deck, so all of the figures are feminine, but that doesn't mean that this is a woman coming through. Although I will say there's a lot of feminine energy here with the Queen of Discs, and so it's quite possible this is a woman, but it doesn't have to be. Could be anyone who embodies the traits that we'll talk about here. So the person who's coming through here, as I mentioned, could be a woman. So I'm getting definitely like a motherly or grandmotherly energy, or you could be the mother of this person. This could be a female child as well. It does not have to be. Those are just possibilities. But I'm definitely getting this feeling of someone who is nurturing and caring for others in some way. Someone who may have also been through kind of a lot. But I feel like someone who's also frequently misinterpreted or underestimated by others, or is viewed in such a way that they might be seen as immature, but I actually don't get immature energy from this person. I'm almost feeling with the Child Woman coming through here, being a shadow card, there's an aspect of their life in which they are misunderstood to be like younger than they are. So maybe this is someone who just has a very youthful vibe and people just see them as quite youthful in how they express themselves. But it could also be that some people like negatively project like youthfulness onto them, see them as less mature than they actually are, or underestimate them because of their age or just because of how they act or look. Now, something else was coming through. With detachment, sorry, I have like it's not a mint, but I have like a candy in my mouth, and I did not mean to start the reading with this in my mouth, but I forgot that I had it. So I'm trying to talk around it. So we have detachment and acceptance. So with detachment and acceptance, this is where I'm getting this very like mature energy coming through. Free-spirited as well, which it gives me this feeling of, again, like someone who in their own right is free-spirited and free-thinking and does their own thing, but it might come across to some people, or like societally it might come across as like childish, quote unquote, or like they don't take things too seriously or life too seriously, but they actually are like have this kind of, I feel like, depth of emotion, this motherly kind of energy to them where they are very capable of like caring for themselves and others. But like, again, this might not come through in how they're viewed or how people see them. Now, when I say motherly energy, they don't have to be, again, like a mother or a woman, but there's just like a nurturing, earthy, also grounded vibe. Like, again, like this person is very grounded, but they might come across as like free-spirited and airy in a way where like other people view them from the external as like someone with less responsibilities, someone who doesn't take life too seriously. And yet this is someone who I feel like if they appear very free and very fun and just generally accepting and easygoing with life, it's like from a place of like they've earned it, quote unquote. And I don't think you like need to earn this through like, it's not like you don't have to like suffer in life to like earn like free-spiritedness and feeling good and having fun and things like that. But I almost feel like this person is that way because they've deliberately chosen that, because they've gone through things that have taught them that that is the way that they want to be, that like they've had to choose that path, accept that path, and embrace that path. And I feel like they might make it look so effortless, which is why other people outside of their situation would view them as irresponsible or carefree in a way that they might envy or misunderstand, because they think, oh, well, this person's just had it easy. But I don't think that's the case. I think this person had to kind of go through a lot to be the person that they are today. Like, it's just people have a hard time believing that, because a lot of people would not have made the same decisions that this person made in the same situation. They might not have felt like they were strong enough or brave enough to do so. Or at least like that's what they think of themselves. You know what I mean? So I feel like this person might get projected on a bit. And it's possible that this just comes from them not being necessarily very reachable by a lot of people. Maybe there aren't a lot of people who know them very well. Maybe you're one of the few people who knows them very well. I would say there's also a chance that you are someone who misunderstands this person as well, or feel misunderstood by this person, and maybe it's a mutual experience where you each misunderstand one another. That's always possible as well. But, you know, just take that as it resonates. That could not be the case for some of you. But yeah, this feels like someone who has had to learn, quote unquote, the hard way, how to detach, how to be independent, how to accept where they are in life and who they are. And I feel like whether they are actually like independent, like physically independent in terms of like I'm getting this could be someone who's misunderstood, because perhaps like I'm getting like, and this doesn't have to be the case, but for some of you, this could be someone who like has some kind of like cognitive disability or something like that, where like they're perceived as not being able to process things in the way that other people can, but like it's kind of like a misunderstanding of their true nature. Like they might not be able to communicate in the same way that a lot of other people can, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the amount of depth and like spiritual intelligence and things like that others have. Like, you know what I mean? Like that could be a misperception about them. If they say like or have some kind of disability where they have to rely on other people, it's like there's still an independence in their thought, in their spirit that is present. Yeah, so that won't resonate for everyone, but that could be the case for some people here. But it seems like this is a person with hidden depths. Also, sorry if you can't see the cards very well now. It's just getting darker and darker because it gets dark so early, and I started a bit later than I wanted to. So hopefully it doesn't get too dark by the time we're done with this. But anyway, yeah, this seems like this would be a very interesting person to get to know, but I feel like not a lot of people get to know them very deeply, at least not maybe at this time in their life. But this is someone who I feel like has like spiritual depths, and in some cases maybe even spiritual experiences that they don't often share. Now, let's get some messages from this person. Yeah, I feel like, again, like people underestimate this person, but they're very strong. I mean, Archangel Michael did choose this group, and so this is, and perhaps Archangel Michael is very, like, there's a protectiveness that you or others have over this person because of how they come across. But I also feel like this person in and of themselves, in their own right, is a strong protector in some way. But it feels like it's not like in the more obvious physical sense, but in more of like a spiritual, emotional sense, if that makes sense. Okay. So, actually, King of Cups. This one just popped out, just fell on the table, so we're going to take it. We're asking now for the heartwarming, loving messages that this person has for you, Group 4. So, Group 4's loved one, what messages do you have for them? And of course, this could be any kind of relationship, any person. Knight of Wands. Okay. What loving messages do you have for this person? 10 of Cups. Is this? Yeah, reversed. Okay, 10 of Cups reversed. King of Wands. Okay. King of Wands also came out in Group 1. And we have the Star. Okay. And the Sun on the bottom of the deck. I don't know if that's relevant. I'm going to put it off to the side, but we have the Sun and the Star, so that could be like cosmic kind of bodies. Could be significant, could be a sign here. All right. This sky is so dark now. It's so dark. For those of you who can't see anymore, it's the King of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the 10 of Cups reversed, the King of Wands, and the Star. So we have a lot of masculine energy coming through in the messages here, which is interesting. King of Cups, Knight of Wands, 10 of Cups reversed, King of Wands, the Star. Okay, Group 4's person. What do you want Group 4 to know? What do you... There is... I'm getting... Okay, with looking at the King of Cups, I'm getting emotional stability. And the Knight of Wands, I'm getting, like, charge ahead, go for it, impulsive, like... I feel like this... I'm almost feeling this person is... Like, I'm feeling like the King of Cups and Knight of Wands, but especially the King of Cups, actually represents a person or people in your life. So, I don't feel like they represent this person. I don't feel like they necessarily represent you either. I feel like they might represent qualities that are important to you. Almost like... Okay, this is kind of similar to something that came through in Group 1. But in that group, that person was talking about themselves, their own energy. This person feels like they're pointing out figures in your life around you who have qualities that you also have, that you don't necessarily see in yourself, but that are being highlighted for you right now because it's important for you to awaken to those qualities in yourself and to recognize how you can grow into the person that you want to be. It's almost like this person is coming through as like a spirit guide a little bit. Like this could actually, for those that it resonates for, this could be a spirit guide for you, or someone who is on the other side who is guiding you from that place, whether they're incarnated or not. Like they could be, spiritually, like their higher self could be guiding you. But even if that's the case, like, I don't know, this feels like someone with like deep spiritual knowledge that they are passing on to you. And there's something here about you, like whoever these figures are in your life, like this King of Cups, this Knight of Wands, I feel like the King of Wands might actually represent you, like who you're growing into, your potential. Actually, yeah, it does. I feel like the King of Cups and Knight of Wands, it's almost like combine them and then they become this King of Wands. And so I feel like these traits of like the King of Cups being like very, like, this is like, the King of Cups is like kind of like a father energy I see sometimes. Emotionally aware, but always emotionally in control. Not someone who suppresses emotion, but someone who is comfortable with their emotional body, their energy. They know how to process it and detach from it as well. Like okay, that's kind of like, okay, so for some of you, this could be the qualities that this person themselves has, because we have detachment right here, and I feel like there's a level to which this person has mastered detachment from their emotions in a healthy way, not in like a suppressing way or in like a, I'm not like going to acknowledge them, in a way where it's like you can watch and observe and experience your emotions, but also not fully identify with them to the point where like they become destructive in your life, right? And so like that there's like a balance there. And this King of Cups has mastered that. So this King of Cups could be referring to this individual who's coming through with this message for you. But also if there's someone else in your life who, because I'm getting the sense that this person may not be directly in your life right now, or may not often be in your life. And if that's the case, there might be people in your life who embody these traits more readily for you in like your everyday, who model this for you, or who you admire or look up to or view as like the epitome of this. I'm getting, even for some of you, this could be like a book character. That's a similar message that came through in another group, but for this, like, not this person who's coming through though, like this King of Cups who they're talking about, like this embodiment of this like ideal, especially like an ideal of like emotional stability, maybe even a romantic ideal or a masculine ideal, depending on, what you're looking for in life or who you are. And it's like saying that you have that capacity to be that person within yourself. And with the Knight of Wands as well, there's this courage, fire, and this willingness to, this lightheartedness and this ability to like take action without overthinking. And they are highlighting this as a trait that, again, is also important for you to embody. So it's like there's some way in which I'm just feeling like, because like this Queen of Discs, like she's crying diamonds, right? So she's like, this is someone who, she might be the Queen of Pentacles, very earthy energy. She's not the Queen of Cups. But yet I also feel like the Queen of Discs here is a master of her emotions in some way. Because when she lets them flow, like these gems fall out, right? Like she knows the value in allowing these emotions to flow, to be expressed. And I almost feel like this is something that's being encouraged in you. Yeah, this is really like, okay, this is someone who's encouraging you on your spiritual path, who is saying that I feel like you're on the right track. Like, I feel like you're on the right path. This person is saying that you, to keep going, to not overthink it, to trust in the vision that you have of the person that you want to be, and recognize how you can embody that now in the present, and be satisfied with yourself and who you are in the present. Because I feel like that is, it's not just like, oh, you're already that person and you don't realize it. It's like, that's how you become that person, by just being like, no, this is who I am. It's like stating your intentions now, not for later. So it's like, instead of being like, oh, one day I will be this person, it's like, no, today I am this person. Right now I am this person. Right now I embody this person. And like being very direct and real about who you want to be. And this feels like, it's hard to almost convey verbally, because it feels like something that's like intangible. Like it's like there's a kind of energy you want to embody, to be like a kind of person you want to be, that is rather intangible. It's more of like a feeling. It's more of like yes, it involves like how you act and speak and think in the world, but it's also just like hard to describe and explain, but like, and there's a certain level of like maturity, I feel like, that this embodiment that you want to, this person you want to embody has, that again, I feel like, oh yeah, like this person who is coming through for you, I feel like has mastered this in some way. And the way that you master this, the way that like you come across once you have mastered this sort of like spiritual pursuit of yours, it might be similar to the way that this person is perceived, in the sense that like this person might be, again, perceived as immature, childish, or like just seen as not quite responsible enough, or what have you. It's like, but in some way you are looking to embrace the same path and to affirm for yourself who you are, rather than rely on other people's visions of who you should be. And just say no, like, instead of taking on, like, maybe you have other people judging you for the same things that this person has been judged for. And instead of taking those on and being like, yeah, that's just, me, I'm like irresponsible and this and that. It's like, no. Align with who you know yourself to be. Like, how do you perceive yourself? Like, how do you perceive this person? Probably different from the other people, right? Perceive yourself in that light. Choose how you want to perceive yourself. Choose how you want to speak about yourself and act. And don't overthink it. Just be it. Be it. And trust that you're being it. And don't take on other people's projections of who they think you should be. There's also this guidance, of course, of like, again, like not projecting your happiness into the future, but bringing it into the present. Not projecting your satisfaction or who you want to be into the future, bringing it into the present. Being that now. To become this empowered King of Wands. This person who takes action confidently because they trust themselves. They know who they are. They're brave enough to be who they are. The King of Wands is a go-getter, an action-oriented person, very empowered. I see the King of Wands as extremely empowered individual and independent. And I feel like that's in some ways who this person is. I feel like you might express these traits in different ways once you settle into being this person, but I feel like there's a kinship between you and whoever's coming through here, where you understand each other, even if you're perceived or you express yourselves in somewhat different ways. But regardless, you both see that each of you is coming from a place of true authenticity and empowerment in your own way that may be misperceived by those around you. And this person is assuring you as well that they're here to help you reach your potential. And like the star being here, like they have high hopes for you. You have high hopes for yourself. Your aspirations. I feel like you, especially because like I'm getting this group as being in a very spiritual group, or at least someone who has like a very like spiritual aspirations or high aspirations for their life, who they want to be. That doesn't necessarily have to be like I'm talking about potentially high spiritual aspirations. So maybe it's not like the aspiration of like, oh, I want to be a millionaire and be really successful and sell 1 million copies of my book or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like you might have high spiritual aspirations in terms of like the kind of person you want to be, the kind of world you want to ground into your life, the kinds of connections and relationships you want to have, the way you want to feel about life and experience life, the growth you want to experience, the understanding you want to experience in this life, maybe even the like spiritual experiences you want to have in this life. The sky's the limit. But no, that's not even right, because like there is no limit. That's kind of what I'm feeling. And your person here who is either a spirit guide or is guiding you in some way, is one of your guides to bring you to that full potential. And they are telling you now, like, the time is now. It's not in the future, it's now. Embody this, be this. You have this within you already. You can draw on this person's energy or the energy of those in your life who embody the traits that you want, because you wouldn't be able to see those traits in others if they weren't available in yourself. So you can step into their energy. This is similar to something that came through in group 1, but you can step into their energy whenever you want to. Like you can have, like, if there's someone you want to embody in a certain moment, you can imagine that they are within you, helping you, act, think, speak in such a way until you ground that into yourself and understand that it's already present inside you. Which again, like, very similar to something that came through in group 1. And through this, like, your empowerment is now. Like, you can be who you want to be. Your dreams can come true now. Like, recognize that you are already on your path to, I just heard, your highest enlightenment. So, like, I don't know, some of you are definitely on, like, a really spiritual path, but it doesn't have to be, it also doesn't have to be, like, spiritual in the sense that you don't have to be, like, a fully spiritual person or have, like, aspirations to, like, I don't know, align all your chakras and communicate with aliens. I don't know, whatever, you know, whatever people consider spiritual aspirations. I feel like it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is that you want, whoever you want to be in life, whatever growth you want to experience is your spiritual aspiration, no matter what it looks like. And, like, you can ground that, you can bring that in now. You are recognizing, like, it's not someday, it's like your journey is happening now. And, like, that's the prize. Like, the prize is the fact that you get to live this life and be this person and experiencing the things that you're experiencing. So you can rest assured that, like, you are in any given moment, like, what you aspire to be. And yet at the same time, each moment is also leading you to something new. And so you can be excited about that, but also be excited about where you're at in this moment right now, because it's like, I don't know, you're always progressing, right? I feel like you're someone who's very concerned with progress, with growth, with wanting to be better than you were before. And this person is, like, who's coming through for you right now is, like, bringing up the paradox of, like, aspiration versus, like, satisfaction with who you are in the present, with what's going on in the present, with where you are at now, letting go of striving, and yet at the same time always continuing to, like always continuing to advance, to move forward through, like, allowing things to flow naturally and trusting who you are and where you're at, rather than, like, striving, pushing, assuming that, like, you're wrong or you're not good enough, right? Like, 'cause this isn't coming from, like, the place that you're at in life. You're no longer meant to be coming from a place of, I'm not good enough and I need to be better, but you're coming from a place of, I am who I am. I am that I am, whatever, what have you. And I'm excited and eager to experience more, to grow and change with life, to see where it takes me, and to continue to experience change and difference. Wow, it is so dark in here now. And the candles are not helping. Okay. Yeah, so this is, like, I don't know, I feel like this is a very deeply spiritual group, or at least a group who has, like, very specific vision for who they want to be in life. And this person who's coming through is really a guide for you, and they could be incarnated. They could be someone who you even work with directly on a spiritual level, but I do feel like for a lot of you, regardless, this person is helping you in, like, the other realms, if you resonate with that. And they're like, yeah, baby, like, it's time to, like, integrate, like, the idea that you are already who you want to be. All you have to do is claim that in the moment. So, group 4's loved one. Any closing messages from these quote cards that you have for group 4? What messages do you have for group 4? What closing messages do you have for group 4? Ambitious. That's the word that I describe you as. And it's interesting because I think the person who is coming through helping you with your ambitions comes across, again, like, as maybe not very ambitious, because people see ambition as, like, one thing, and the way that this person expresses ambition is, like, completely different than what other people, like, see as ambitious. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe this person isn't really ambitious either. Maybe they just have like, attained or achieved certain things that, again, you want to also achieve in some way, that are less tangible, maybe, than some other people, might perceive. Okay. Or, like, even if this person has achieved some tangible goals, like, I feel like people don't understand how they did it, or they went about it in a way that's just, like, not as, like, socially acceptable, quote unquote, as some people in their life might have hoped. This is like giving black sheep energy, you know? Okay. We lost your quotes there on the ground. Oh my god, it's so dark. Alright, let's finish this up. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see this. Oh yeah, you can. Okay. So we got 2 quote cards here. We have this one with this like wave, and we have this one with a squiggle, and then I also just have another deck here. Alright, any last messages for group 4? Alright, that's a lot, but I'll take them. Sorry if I just bumped the mic. Alright, we've got this one, and this one. Alright. Yeah, this is a very spiritual group. Okay, so first one, we have this wave, and the quote says, "You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean." Alan Watts. Yeah, so there's a sense of like, again, like one moment flowing into the next, like is creating your future and your present. And so it's like this emphasis on like your future isn't in the future, it's like now. You're creating it now. Be who you want to be now in whatever way you can. You know what I mean? And like, don't get too ahead of yourself and like thinking, oh, I have so much farther to go. Like, you know, if you get too caught up in like, oh, I want to be this, but I don't feel like I'm there yet, and you're like projecting like a hard path into the future, a long road, it's like, no, bring yourself back to the present. It's not as far away as you think. We have this card here. God, it's so hard to read. What we have to discover is that there is no safety, that seeking it is painful, and that when we imagine that we have found it, we don't like it. Alan Watts, The Wisdom of Insecurity. Yeah, Alan Watts, like, there's, like, maybe spiritual wisdom for you in his teachings in the book, The Wisdom of Insecurity. But, yeah, this idea of, like, again, this person coming across as very free-spirited. I feel like you want to claim that free-spiritedness for yourself in some way. Like, whatever your situation in life, you want to be spiritually free. And this person, this bringing through that wisdom of, like, what we perceive to be safety isn't actually safety or security, and sometimes we just use that to restrain ourselves, to keep ourselves like small. And you are definitely someone who's stepping into your empowerment, realizing that you don't need the restrictions you thought you once needed to keep you safe, and they're guiding you and protecting you on that journey. We also have this card, which one thing that's cool is that when it's dark, you can see like the light in the middle glowing through, so I think that's kind of cool. So we have, in the dark, there's discovery, there's possibility, there's freedom in the dark once someone has illuminated it. From Black Sails by Captain Flint. I feel like this could be referring to shadow work for you, especially if you are actually on a spiritual journey, you know what shadow work is, and you know the values it can bring. You're ready to illuminate certain things that have been left in the dark, face certain fears that you may have not faced before. This also could be referring to you going through like a dark night of the soul. Maybe this person is also assuring you that like they've been through some similar experiences, like they know what it's like to go through like a really like existentially difficult time where it's like your fundamental understanding of like your life in the world is changing, and you're going through a soul transition is something that I just heard. If you resonate with that idea, and like this person is again like guiding you through it and also reassuring you that there is freedom in like going through that and going through the unknown and in coming out the other side, and that's how they've gained their freedom as well. And we have this card here with, my God, it's so dark. You can't know joy unless you've known sorrow. Those who can soar to the highest heights can also plunge to the deepest depths. From Anne with an E, quote from Miss Stacy. Yeah, again, like emotional maturity, right? I feel like you and they have been on a similar journey where you have had to acquaint yourself with the deeper emotions, like maybe you have experienced emotional instability in some ways that has like made you wiser about your emotional state. That's why this King of Cups is here, right? And you're coming into a stage where you're ready to be this King of Cups and can claim that control of your emotions in a healthy way, because you've been delving into the depths of them and the heights of them, and you've experienced that, and now like things are evening out a bit for you, and you're claiming your sovereignty over your emotions, but healthily, because you don't fear them anymore. You understand them. And you've had the strength to face the intensities of them. again, like an extremely spiritual group here. That's what I'm feeling. And then we have, last but not least, this card here. And it says, I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom. From Illusions by Richard Bach. Yeah, this is really giving me like breaking free from expectations, breaking free from old beliefs, like stepping into a new world, a new life, having a spiritual awakening. And this person who's coming through is like literally or like spiritually guiding you through this, acting as a guide for you, acting as even someone who you can look up to through this journey. Especially because I feel like there's this feeling of them being misunderstood, and you going through this transformation might be afraid of feeling misunderstood by people in your life, but there's an understanding between you and this person can help you navigate the fears you have around that. Because again, I feel like you're becoming sovereign, you're becoming independent, you're becoming empowered, and that means letting go of other people's judgments of you and assessments of you and focusing on what feels right to you in the moment, what has meaning for you, what your true happiness really is, what your authentic self really is, and embracing that, reaching your full potential. And this person is like, I'm here to help you reach that. And for some of you, this really is like a spirit guide or something like that. Like, I do feel like if you resonate with this person not being necessarily of this world, then you can claim that. But yeah, this person like knows or understands that journey, or at least understands the journey that you've been on and can help you with that. And so, like, The Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts or Illusions by Richard Bach might actually be books that you want to read. They are books that are, like, spiritual in nature, like, in the way that they're written and everything, and they might have wisdom for you. But, of course, you can find your wisdom in any kind of story. So, and you might be on that journey as well, where you're finding, like, your spiritual wisdom in a lot of different kinds of places. And so, you know, I just heard keep going with that. Like, be open-minded to where you can get your wisdom. I feel like your eyes are opening to the world in a new way, and so you're going to be seeing things in a different way than you had before. And yeah, and this person wants to also say, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're going to be okay. And if they are someone who is like an actual guide in your physical life right now, you can definitely reach out to them for that, but you can also reach out spiritually to them if they're not physically in your life, and ask them for support and assistance through any confusion or fear you might have. I feel like you're someone who's really coming out the other side of a difficult time in most cases and stepping into a further, deeper independence. And so you might not feel as completely lost as you once did, but there might still be that lingering sensation, and they can help you through that. But also, if you are feeling very lost at this time on your journey, this person is reassuring you that they know what that's like, and that you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to make it to the other side very soon. Whew. All right. And now that the sun is basically set almost, and it's very dark in here, I'm going to close this reading out to group 4 because we cannot see the cards anymore. But I want to thank you for listening. I hope that this resonated. Please comment if you feel called to, if you want to share about who this person is to you or what this message means to you. I'd love to hear it if you want to share that with us. And if you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com. The link is in the description. And my mom and I are both hypnotists as well. So if you want to use hypnosis as a tool for you on your journey, that is also something that we do. So you can check that out on at our link as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!